Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. Let's talk about what's happening in the markets right now. We've seen, so we didn't see dollar strength come through the market during the fix, which isn't surprising me. Is surprising to me too much because it was so well telegraphed that we got some dollar selling going into the roundup. Now into the fix. We've seen a little bit of dollar strength, but it's come mostly through like the European currencies. We had the euro back off from the highs. You had the cable, hit a fresh new high above the 29.30 and then reverse. So the dollar has firmed up against some currencies, but not against the others. You see the Aussie is actually at its highs of the day, Kiwi's at its highs of the day, and the dollar Canadian's at its lows of the session. So, and the dollar maxes as well. So that shouldn't be surprising with as strong as stocks are. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, why are stocks as strong as they are? Most of the people that are talking are like, well, Biden still holds a lead. As long as that lead doesn't shrink, we're not going to get these contested results. So the stock market is rallying. Plus, we have a possible stimulus package that this Mnuchin and is meeting with Pelosi in about 15 minutes. It looks like, the administration was at 1 trillion. Pelosi wanted 3, or the Democrats wanted 3. The Republicans came up to 1.5. The Democrats said 2.2, and now the Republicans say, okay, we can do 1.5, plus we can have a rider that does another $500 billion if the coronavirus continues to stay, persistent, something like that. And it seems like to me, and I think it seems like to the rest of the market, that a deal is going to get done. So a deal is going to eventually get done. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the, McConnell just said Pelosi's latest aid bill still has poison pills. Oh, well, okay. So the market, and this is just comments that are coming out right now. The market had been pricing in a possible deal. So, and to me, it seems like we're pretty close. And I guess if you think about it, why wouldn't a deal get done? Well, don't both sides benefit from some sort of, deal getting done for the American people? But I don't know. I mean, if you're on the Republican, side of the house, you probably are thinking, well, yeah, we need to get a deal done because it's going to make the Republicans, the Republican Party look good that, they've reached across the aisle and they got a deal done and they budged. Then on the Democratic side, you'd think the same thing. Well, we wanted this, we negotiated, we got this, and we got a deal done. But I don't know, if you're the Democrats, do you really just kind of give up, throw up your hands and say, okay, we'll just take whatever? I don't know. Maybe they want to show some strength and, that they can strong arm a little bit, and maybe they decide not to do a deal. So, it's a hard, it's not an easy question of if it's going to get done or not, and if they're going to settle or not. So one thing I'd be watching here with equities, this is just the S&P alone. If for some reason we get back below this this hourly breakout point, here, I'm going to put an alert right here just so you guys know where that's at. That's at 30, let's call it 33.70. If we get back below 33.70, that means a deal didn't get done and the market's going to turn south, right? Flip side is, we might be able to challenge, some of this resistance here. That seems, pretty logical to me. The question is where currency is going to go. I'm not sure what the euro is going to do, but I will. Let's start with the dollar index. So the dollar index is finding support at the 50% retracement. You notice the dollar index also might have put in a false breakdown. Okay, that's kind of key right now. Now the dollar index isn't all dollars, obviously, but you know, if you're dealing with the, especially like the euro or the cable, that's something that I think is fairly significant, that we need to recognize that the dollar may have made a false breakdown. Now it's not showing up in the Aussie and it's not showing up in the Kiwi. And obviously you're seeing the ramifications in these cross rates, like the Euro Aussie is getting absolutely destroyed right now. Euro New Zealand getting destroyed. That's typical of a market that is risk on, right? It's risk on. So, you know, I would be looking at things like this. Like if the Euro New Zealand, for example, gets back above the 177 level, that would be very bullish for the, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's do it this way. There we go. More intraday. If the Euro New Zealand gets back above 177, that would be pretty, you know, pretty bullish, because then it took out all the stops and then reversed. That would also signal that we don't have a deal, right? Also, look at currencies like, here's the dollar Canadian is slumped down to support. This, remember, we got a big inverted head and shoulder pattern, but that doesn't mean that the dollar Mexican peso can't, or dollar Mexican peso, that's what I was going to talk about next. The dollar Canadian can't come back down here to 132.50 before bouncing. And I think that's quite possible if there is a deal. If there is not a deal, then, you know, we're holding that, you know, pretty key support zone, right, as of right now, as long as we hold above 133. Dollar Mexican peso back testing the $22 level. It still is trading pretty weak. I think the reason why that is obviously the market's anticipating some sort of deal getting done. So, you know, that's why it's holding up, or that's why it's down towards the support. You know, if a deal gets done, we could theoretically, in the dollar Mexican peso, come all the way back down to 21.60, because that would be this this level right here. Okay, which I think is, you know, entirely doable. So again, a lot of these moves are going to rely on what happens here with this stimulus deal. And I hate you know, hinging everything on something as silly as this, but that's kind of the way the markets are right now. You know, the markets are dealing with you know, these uncertainties, and you know, the market is really wants a stimulus deal, because they know that they're not getting anything else from the Fed minus what we've got right now, at least, you know, not near term. So the market will really cheer some sort of stimulus deal getting passed. But if it does not get passed, then we have to be careful about equities, like I said, doing a little bit of a false breakout here and, you know, dipping back below this you know, 33.70 level. I think that would be you know, obviously negative for equities. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I wish I had more to report, but we're all going to be standing by, really just watching, you know, carefully what's happening with the markets here. You know, it's all about the headlines at this point in time. Good news is we got some volatility. You know, that's the good news. All right. Thanks everybody for all your support. For those of you that are ForexAnalytix subscribers, appreciate you all being here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll see you guys in the chat room. Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.